Hi, this is Brian of Team Sex Panther, and I'm going to be doing my Dark Irregulars deck profile. Now, this is the Amon build that I built before Set 5 came out, so I won't be using Hysteric Shirley or Dark Soul Conductor. And I'm going to start with my Grade 0 lineup. My starter is Devil in Shadow. This deck only runs 7 Grade 3s, so it's not always in my opening hand. So I like using him to fish the Grade 3 out of the top 5 of my deck. Or if I already have my Grade 3, I also like using it for thinning out the Grade 3s that are still left in there. I'm running the standard 4 heals. I'm running Cursed Doctor over Cheshire Cat because when I ran him, he never showed up for me. So at least with this, I get to heal. And I'm running the 4 Mad Hatters, because I feel that every deck needs at least 4 draw. Otherwise, you won't have anything from your hand come late game. And then I'm running 8 criticals. This deck is really aggressive, so I felt that it didn't need stand triggers. So I like attacking with my later grade 3s for over 20,000 power and then just checking criticals all day long. And then my grade 1 units, I'm only running 2 of the 9k boosting Amon. I don't feel that I need too many of him because while his boost is nice, I like the other grade 1s that allow me to soul charge better. Similarly, that's why I'm only running 2 Doreen the Thruster. She'll become the best booster in this deck if you're able to soul charge at least twice during one turn. But I don't feel that they need too much more of her because otherwise she'll just clog up the deck. I'm running 2 Alluring Succubus. I like the ability to soul charge when she's played on Vanguard or Rearguard, but I like the ability of, say, Yellow Bolt better, which is why I'm running 3 of him over Alluring Succubus, because he allows me to rest him in soul charge. So even though I have to pay a bigger cost for it, I get to do it constantly instead of just when played. And then I'm running 2 Courting Succubus, because when the attack that she's boosting hits the Vanguard, I get to soul charge, which is best when paired with some of my other grade 2s. For example, Emblem Master, and if they're used in combination, it will allow me to soul charge 4 times. And then I'm only running 3 of the March Rabbit because I don't feel that I need a 4th in there. I'm not soul charging it a lot, and I feel that more than that will just clog up my hand because I don't ever really play it from my hand aside from when I'm guarding something, so otherwise I feel it's just a waste. So that rounds up my grade 1s with 14, and on to grade 2. I'm using 3 Werewolf Seeger. I don't feel that this deck needs any more than 3 because there are so much better skill using cards than just a generic 10k. But all in all, at grade 2, I do still really like the power that it gives. Then I'm running 3 Decadent Succubus. I like her skill that while she's on the Vanguard, I get to soul charge every time I call a Dark Irregular Rearguard. Combined with Doreen as the first card played, you'll get a massive rearguard column on turn 2. So she's easily the best ride for turn 2 in this deck. And then I'm using 2 Blue Dust because I like that when he hits anything, you'll get to soul charge. So I constantly have opponents guarding him. But I also like having 2 Emblem Master in here. I'm only running 2 because otherwise, he does actually clog up the deck pretty bad. Or at least for this build, anyway. But he counterblasts 1, and if his attack hits the Vanguard, I get to soul charge 3. Which is why I like using him with Courting Succubus to get a 16k column that will soul charge 4, so it's constantly being overguarded, especially if I gave it triggers. And then to finish off my grade 2s, I'm running 2 Gwyn the Ripper. I like him because if there's an opponent's rearguard that I absolutely have to get rid of, I can counterblast 2 and snipe the one that I choose, instead of using Amon's ability, which lets the opponent choose who I get rid of. So that rounds out my 12 grade 2s. And then for my grade 3s, I'm running 1 Dark Lord of Abyss. I mean, the 11k is nice, but for his limit break, you have to counterblast 2 and soul charge 2 in order to gain the power. Which, I mean, it's good, but at most you'll only be able to use it 3 times a game. Whereas Amon will get that power boost permanently in exchange for the 1k during the opponent's turn. So then I'm running 2 Evil Eye Basilisk. He's the best rear guard in this deck because he'll automatically hit 12k on his own when he attacks the Vanguard. So when he's backed by the grade 1 Amon, he'll be a 21k column without triggers. So he'll be harder for any deck that isn't using a cross ride to guard. And even for decks using cross rides, they still have to force out a 10k shield at least. So he's a good choice. And then the main boss unit of this deck is Demon World Marquis Amon. I like him because he'll gain 1,000 for each Dark Irregular in your soul during your turn. So by turn 3, he'll easily be a 16 or 17k on his own if you were able to soul charge enough. And for 1 counterblast and putting a Dark Irregular rearguard into the soul, he gets to snipe out an opponent's rearguard. It's of their choice, so I wouldn't recommend using it if they have more than 3 rearguards, because otherwise you won't get to snipe the one that you want, and you'll be wasting too many cards and too much counterblast to try and hit the one that you want. But, I mean, even with a simple boost of the 7Ks, he'll easily break over what needs to be hit a cross ride. So, I mean, he's definitely one of the best choice, in my opinion, for a Dark Irregulars deck at this point. And that's my Dark Irregulars. I mean, this was my first deck profile, so if I did anything wrong or if someone has any suggestions for me, please let me know. And that's it.